So, Gaffer, a couple of new signings to talk about first and foremost. We'll go with Festus Arthur, obviously featured in the friendly against Fleetwood, showed some of what he can do. But what can the fans expect from him?
Festus, bright young prospect. People forget he's still tender years for a centre half, and somebody who will come in, likes to defend, loves to win challenges, loves to compete for headers. Very combative in the central defensive area and got two very good feet. So I'd argue he's probably equally as good off both left and right feet. So gives us the ability to build from the back as well as that defensive solidity that he offers the team.
And of course, the second of the three signings, Rob Harker, striker, come in. What can you tell us about him?
Good player, very, very good prospect, Rob, as a striker. The nice thing for me is I know quite a bit about the lad, but for the fans, I think he'll be a revelation. I think for people in and around the league, he'll be a real class act. I think there'll be a lot of people very interested in Rob very quickly. Good physical presence, great football brain, good physical ability, and he can finish as well, which is the crucial piece of the jigsaw that people will be really impressed with.
And of course, Sam Minihan, the most recent signing announced earlier today, comes with a lot of pedigree. Talk us through that signing.
Again, a player probably the worst kept secret in National League football. That one, I think, the rumour mill was his best around Sam. We've had an interest in Sam for a while, and obviously, having been promoted with Stockport and played a big part in their rise over the last few years, he's someone we're well aware of his capabilities, both as a player on the pitch, but as a player in training and around the group as well. He's going to bring a good air of professionalism and a hunger and desire to be successful to the group. So he's a real good, solid addition, and will help fire us forward going into the season.
Yeah, and it looks like the squad's really taking shape now as well.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite exciting. We've got good cover in a number of positions now. We look more solid defensively as opposed to where we were a week ago, where we just had one player in each of the back four positions. We've got some real good competition up front, and there's still at least one, possibly two more additions to make who are very, very solid additions. So I'm hoping in the next 48 hours we'll have at least one of those, possibly two, and that should complete the signings going into the season.
Of course, obviously pre-season now almost done. What have you made of it so far?
It's been great, yeah. There's been some real progression. We've seen a real test across the board. So if we just go through it, there was Filed early doors, who clearly a side who'd signed a lot of good players. They were more established in their pre-season processes than we were, and gave us a really good test. And then we've progressed it nicely through the really interesting fixtures at Hertha and Salford, which again was a real positive test for the registered lads, and it gave us a chance to look at some of the trialists. And then on to Farsley, which was a completely different test altogether. I'm expecting this weekend we've got a nice mixture. The main objective is getting 90 minutes into pretty much all the squad, or certainly as close to all the players as we can. But also now we should start to see that identity and that competitiveness come out, because the vast majority of those players playing are going to be registered first team Halifax Town footballers who are competing for starting positions and who are looking to impress the fans.
And as you mentioned it there, and we've talked about it there, squad taking shape. Have you sort of got an idea of what your strongest 11 could be?
Well, the nice thing is we've got real good quality in each of the positions, so I'm blessed with a really nice problem to have. We talk about it a lot in football, don't we? Having really solid options across the board. So I don't have any doubt that whichever 11 is picked out of the current registered players will be a strong 11, and there'll be players who are left out of the group and who are on the bench, who will be looking in and able to get into that team and add to us as and when required. So there's real competition for places, and I don't think anybody can really be absolutely certain that they're going to start the season because of the quality that we've got in the club now.
Absolutely, and obviously with just over a week to the season, are we at a stage you'd expect us to be?
We are. I think the nice thing now is we've got the bodies we want. We've got the level of quality that we would have hoped for. Now we've got to look to build that chemistry and build those partnerships, and we've got to do that as quickly as possible. And the training we're doing is largely built around match realistic practices. So people are getting the opportunity to work together. They're getting the opportunity to work within the systems that we're going to look to play, and there's that repetition of situations that they're going to expect to see on match days. So that's the main body of work now. Is starting to build these partnerships and get players playing together and understanding how they work together within the system and the formations that we're going to look to play. So it's an exciting time, and really can't wait for the season to start.
Of course, as you've alluded to, Curzon and Colne hoping to get everyone a 90 minutes, but what can we sort of expect the teams to look like?
Well, again, they're pretty even, because the level of quality across the group is very good. So both sets of players will be very strong, and we'll be going out there to really impose our identity on both oppositions. And I'll be really pressing that matter before the game with both sets of players, that we impose Halifax Town's style on both games.
Of course, now looking ahead a bit away from the football, we've obviously got the Supporters Club Q&A coming up next week. Any message for the fans ahead of that?
Looking forward to seeing everybody sitting down and fielding some questions. It's a real good opportunity for them to get under the skin of why certain decisions are made, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to explain and help them understand why we make the decisions we make, and how we come about the solutions and the direction that we come to. So it's a real good opportunity to air some of those thoughts and feelings for the fans, but also for me and the chairman to be able to just discuss how we come to the decisions we come to, because obviously the fans see the final outcome, but they don't always understand the process that's gone on behind that and the things that might influence it. So I think it's a really good time to sit down and really get a good understanding of how the club's run and what direction we're trying to move in.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, it's the first opportunity really for the fans to speak to you as a manager.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, they'll be able to get a feel for me, and I'm sure there'll be some good questions. I'm sure they'll have some things that they want to know about how I'm going to lead the group and how I'm going to lead the club, and how we're going to really push this group to see if we can get promoted into the Football League, because ultimately that's our objective and that's what we're going out to try and achieve.